Hey guys, Car197 again. This time to review of the 1/100 scale Reborn 1/100 Efreet Custom from the Mobile Suit Gundam Blue Destiny video game. For colors, we get a lot of dark blue with some red and white highlights here and there. What's also really cool is on the thrusters, the nice red highlights at the sides, and then the insides are black. We also get some black for the knees, the bottom of the feet, and then we also get some yellow right here on the sides. Once again, for the thrusters, really nicely done. Then we get gray for the joints, the other thrusters right there on the legs, and some other little details here and there. And the hoses are nice bendy plastic. And finally, we also get really nice translucent pink for the mono eye. However, for the mono eye, we also get the option to use a sticker, a very good shiny sticker, to make the eye look more pronounced. Because if you just use the clear eye, it does look a bit unactive if it's just in the face. But a really cool thing to have if, for example, you're planning to use an LED. Then other stickers we're getting are some more shiny pink ones for the sensors on the chest and one for the sensor on the back of the head. So we don't really get a lot of normal stickers, though we could have done with a few more because there are some inconsistencies that really should have been fixed. For example, this entire backside here should have been white, similar to how the front is done, and also the sides here of the shoulder armor should have been black. And just as with the white here, that could have easily been a part, or at the very least, a sticker. Then, as with all of the Reborn 1/100s, some more good news comes in the form of the clear marking stickers. These are completely on par with master grades, and they look absolutely fantastic, especially once you have them all applied. Moving on to articulation, the head goes a bit up, a bit down, a bit forwards and backwards, and rotates around all the way. Then, of course, the mono eye is movable. What the manual wants you to do is painstakingly remove the scalp and then rotate it around on a peg there. But what you really should do, just grab yourself a toothpick and push the eye side to side, which is much easier. And by the way, there isn't a clear piece of plastic or anything covering the eye, so you can just push it around that easily. Then the arms rotate around all the way, go up about that far, then forwards and backwards on the hinge right there. We'll rotate around like that, bend the elbow at 2 joints, just like that. Hands are on ball joints as always. We'll rotate around, wiggle around, and do everything a ball joint does. Now, it still has a little bit of that issue that the Reborn 1/100s have, where if you move the arm around too much, it will pop out, but it's not as bad as some of the other Reborn 1/100s. What it does suffer from is what you just saw and what you saw a minute ago. The side spikes come off way too easily. If you're moving it around, these are going to fall off. So I really recommend you to glue those. Also because, well, they are very movable, so they're constantly hitting against the shoulder itself, making them fall off that much easier. Then the waist goes nicely forwards, backwards, and rotates around about that much. Not a whole lot, but considering the design with the hoses on the side, it's pretty much what you could expect. And the legs go forwards nicely, backwards also really far because the back skirt is movable. So you can get them to do a perfect split just like that. And then, that's perfect. Here you can see the track, which gives him even more articulation. And the cool thing is the track is separate, so you can have just one leg moving forward for some really intricate action poses. Then the legs go out almost as good as they go backwards and forwards. It will also rotate around all the way, bend at the knee at 2 joints for a bit more than 90 degrees. That could have been slightly better, and it's not even hindered that much by the extra armor on there, unlike what you might be thinking. Then the missile pod rotates around all the way, and the feet go forwards nicely, backwards, side to side, and rotate about that far. Then the toes will also go up a bit like that. So overall, the articulation is a pretty standard Reborn 1/100 scale articulation, with the only real annoying thing being the shoulder spikes. And believe me, if you're trying to put this thing into one of its many badass poses, they're really going to get on your nerves really quickly. So yeah, glue is definitely going to be the answer there. Moving on to accessories. These things. These heat sabers are absolutely gorgeous. And now it seems like they did take a page out of the Master Grade 2.0 goof and the Revive goof, because just as those kits, they interpreted the heat sabers more as beam sabers. Still, you know, like the animation era where they form rather than being metal that's superheated. But putting that aside, these things are absolutely gorgeous and fit into the hands absolutely perfectly. And unlike a lot of accessories nowadays, they do not get pegs to put them in there, and they don't need pegs to stay in there. They're absolutely perfect, and as far as these swords could have gone, they're perfect. They're perfect, they're badass, look fantastic, and this is completely what makes the Efreet a badass kit. These are pretty much the only accessories you get with it, and they're the only things you need with it. Sure, you also have the missile launchers on there, but why do you need missiles if you have badass swords like these? Now let's go with the absolutely unthinkable scenario of you not wanting to use these heat sabers. Well, you can simply store them on the back, and they fit into the holders on the back just as securely as they fit into the hands. Other than the heat sabers, we do get one more interesting usable accessory, a pair of these covers. And these come into play when you don't really like the extra leg armor, you simply want to remove that, and you prefer the legs of the regular Efreet. Now, if you just remove the armor, you're going to have a pretty ugly hole in the side. And that's where you simply put these covers in, and there you go. Covered up just like the legs of the Efreet should be. Now, the one really cool thing about this is, with a lot of these covers, once you put them in there, you're never ever getting them out again. Here, simply pull down, and they're out again. Or on the other end of the spectrum, if you buy yourself two Efreets, you can make a high mobility type Efreet. And this is just done by pegging it in there. Shenanigans out of the way, we do get one more usable accessory, the action-based connector. And this is one of the best ones I've seen so far. Because as you might be able to tell, on the inside there's actually a peg that connects right there on the bottom. So first of all, you slide it in there, and then it literally clicks into place, making this one of the most secure action-based connectors I've ever had on any model. And really, with gorgeous heat sabers like that, it's really no unnecessary luxury. Then we also get a few leftover pieces, one extra color, because why not? And also a crotch vent, because it really sucks if your crotch vent breaks and you don't have a spare one to replace it with. With all the accessories out of the way, we do get one more cool thing. A chapter of the Blue Destiny manga. Well, of course, they're not going to give us a full tankobon. It is really cool that they gave us a chapter. And while it's not the first chapter of the manga, it is the first chapter, of course, where the Efreet Kai makes an appearance in. And inside of the manga itself, it is the third chapter of the manga. And really, I highly recommend this manga. It looks absolutely fantastic, and it's a really cool retelling of the story of the video game with a few different units appearing, such as my new favorite gym, the Gym Dominance. And this thing looks absolutely dominating, man. As always, the inevitable question is, do you want to buy this? Yes, with an asterisk. So first, the obvious, the Efreet Kai is an absolute badass. It looks great, nice articulation to go along with those gorgeous heat sabers, making for some really sweet action poses. And overall, there's just not too much wrong with it, other than the little bit of painting that is required for the missile pods and the sides of the shoulders. And that is where the asterisk comes into play, because when you look at the other Reborn 1/100 scale kits, they don't really require that painting, and then of course we have the little issue with the shoulder spikes. So technically speaking, it's not as good as the other Reborn 1/100 scales, but really, speaking purely from looks and just overall badassery, this is definitely one of my favorite Reborn 1/100 scales out there. And just to make it absolutely clear, that little asterisk is really something you can ignore if you're a fan of the Efreet Kai. Then there's only the sad fact that it's not a 1/144 scale, so that you can put it alongside the other Blue Destiny units, but that is something that can be easily resolved if Bandai finally decides to give us the Blue Destinies in either Master Grade or also in the Reborn 1/100 scale line. Do it! Just do it! So for size comparisons, first of all, here it is next to the other Reborn 1/100 scale kit, other of course than the Nightingale, because its scale made it a bit difficult to fit it in with the others. And talking about scale, the Efreet Kai is the smallest of the bunch so far. Now as for my favorites, it's going to be either the Efreet Kai or the GP04. I haven't quite decided which one I like best, because both of them look really good, but are also very different. So right now, I'm just going to say that the Efreet Kai is my favorite Xeon-esque machine, and the GP04 is my favorite Federation machine. Well, Federation-esque machine. Then here it is next to the Master Grade Zaku 2 High Mobility Type R2 Johnny Raiden version 2.0 and the Master Grade Goof 2.0. The model the original Efreet was meant to compete with, but lost out because the DOM came to be. And if you know that the Goof is already a limited model, you can probably tell that the original Efreet didn't get a large production run either. In fact, the Efreet Kai was modified from one of only 8 Efreets out there. Other known ones, of course, being the Efreet Noct from 0081 and the Efreet Schneid from Missing Link. So yeah, not a lot of them out there. And then finally, here he is with his arch nemesis itself, the Blue Destiny Unit 1. So that's all for this review. See you guys next time. And remember, Bandai, Master Grade Blue Destiny, just do it!